and it's a very good evening to you. Welcome to it. Our special broadcast is brought to you courtesy of Government Communication and Information, the GCIS, together with various stakeholders, really. And we're going to be talking with the CEO of SASSA in the studio, as well as coming from the Department of Welfare Services. The DDG is here as well. The Department of Social Development, really. So we're pretty excited to be coming to you after a very long time of being absent. My name is Karabo Lance. I'm glad to be in your company for the next hour, and you and I are going to be discussing issues of utmost importance. So that we can discuss some of the questions that you might be having, especially at this time where South Africa is treading a territory that we've never been before. And we're going to try to put things in perspective for you. Let me give you a number that you can use. It's a toll-free number. It's 0800 142 446. That number is a toll-free number, 0800 142 446. If you're going to be calling from a landline, then that number will be free of charge. I'll tell you what we're going to do. If you call us from a cell phone, you're probably going to be hearing one of our producers on the other side. They'll be asking you your name first and your telephone number, and then they'll be jotting those down, and then they will give you a call back. And in that way, just making sure that you don't run out of airtime, because sometimes we don't take callers directly as they come in. We might put them on hold for a bit. So let me take this time to welcome our guests in the studio. And they did promise to come back, and they've actually kept that promise. The last time we spoke to the CEO of SASSA, Busisiwe Memela Khambula, who said to me, Karabo, it was a good show, and would like to come back again just to talk to our listeners again. And she's here. And it's a very good evening to you, Mebusi. Thank you so much for coming through. Really appreciate it.
Good evening to you. Good evening to the listeners. It's wonderful to be here.
Excellent stuff. And then from the Department of Social Development, the DDG, coming from there, taking care of issues that's got to do with welfare services, Connie Nxumalo. In fact, the two of them are doing a PSA now. Get up. And Connie always laughs at me every time. Hopefully today is going to be a bit different, but I can see she started laughing already. And it's a good evening to you, Mebusi. Connie, I beg your pardon.
Riperile vayingiseri mipfuxela swinene hi tsakile ku va ni va na n'wina kambe madyambini ya namuntlha leswaku hi ta burisana nakambe.
One thing I appreciate our guests is the fact that the last time they were here, you can speak in any language of your choice. What are they taking it home now? They're not even they're not changing gears. It's automatic this time around. 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. Mebusi here as well as Connie here. They are very willing to be answering some of the call or some of the questions that you might be having this evening. So you're probably asking yourself, what is it that you're going to talk about? Okay, or the questions and all of that stuff. Well, look, let me tell you something. The Department of Social Development and some entities, the South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, being here, and the National Development Agency, the role in which they are playing during this COVID-19 combat or warfare this evening. SASSA grant and so forth. But what is the actual role in which SASSA is playing in this whole issue, in this whole combat COVID-19? I think let's kick off with you, Mebusi. Bring us into perspective on that regard.
Good evening. The role that SASSA plays within the social development space is we are an agency that of social development. We are responsible for administering grants and ensuring that grants get paid. Over the years, we've ensured that the money for grant actually goes to individuals electronically. We don't allow our people to go under trees anymore, so that we can enable them to have choice in terms of where and when to access their money. When the money has already been paid into your account, which is in a bank account, it therefore means that you can access it anytime, anywhere, not necessarily the day it gets paid. And your money never gets taken back by SASSA. That's our responsibility.
All right. I think let me just hit straight to the point. I know a lot of people are saying, "Maskulumeni ngama 350 man." So let me not beat around the bush and try to, let me not. Let's go straight to the point. The 350. Okay, let's start here. All right. What is the application process for the special grant of 350 rand?
Ngiyazi ukuthi wonke umuntu into esematheni kulamalanga ukuthi i350 le ingabe sizayibhadala nini, ngiyithola nini bagabe sengiapplyile. Okuimportant okufanele ukuthi ukwaziwe abantu baseningizimu Afrika ukuthi i350 akusiyiyo kuphela into ungqongqoshe ayibekile ukuthi izokhona ukutholakala. Ungqongqoshe uthe maka announcer what is ziningi izinto azozenza ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sikhoseleke kule COVID-19. Uqale ngokuthi ongeze phezu kwalama grant akhona khona manje, wongeza kubomama, wongeza ukuthi kunyanga yokuqala bomama bazowuthola u300 rand phezu kwalo ingane nengane. Ukundlula lapho umama uzothola u500 rand, ingane izobuyela ithole lo 430 lo emtholayo kuze kufike uOctober. Ngaphezu kwaloko ezinye izidingo ungqongqoshe azifakile, ufake kulana amanye ama grant u250 kwi grant yabantu abadala namanye ama grant akhona. Wasuthi makaqeda lapho wathi sesibonelele nalabo abangasebenzi nalabo abalahlekelwe umsebenzi ukuthi nabo bakhona ukuphila, ngoba kaningi abantu bakithi bayakhona ukuthi bazabalaze bahambe bayobona ukuthi benza njani lestradini noma ngaba bangasebenzi. Kodwa ke manje kusho ukuthi abantu abakhoni ngendaba ye COVID-19. Wasuthi ke umphathi kuzofanele ukuthi umuntu nomuntu ongasebenzi apply sase siyabeka izindlela zokuthi abantu banga-apply kanjani. Ba-apply ngokuthi bathole i-message bayimixe kwi-WhatsApp number engu 082 046 8553 na kwinombolo mangabe awukhona ukuya kule nombolo uyahamba, mangabe sinama cellphone amancane siyahamba sifake u*134* 7737# leyo ilena esibiza uSMS, bese mangabe awukhoni kodwa mangabe une access to i-computer uyakwazi ukuthi uthumele i-email ku srd@sassa.gov.za. ungavakashela ubunzelwane www.srd.sassa.gov.za. So izo indlela zoku-apply ngoba phela njengoba sazi ukuthi njengoba kuyisikhathi se-COVID senzela ukuthi abantu bangabe sebayahamba baye emahhovisi, ngoba njengoba besazi ukuthi amahhovisi amaningi esasa bewavaliwe asanda ukuvulwa nje nakhona, kodwa sebabaningi abantu abadinga ukuya kuwo. So siyacela balaleli ukuthi ningabe seniyahamba nofuna lemfanelo kumahhovisi asesasa. Yiloko ke esikusebenza esiphezulu kwako kwamanje.
Right. Those numbers again, if you've just missed them, for instance, if you want to get a hold of SASSA, you're more than welcome to send them a WhatsApp on 082 046 8553. That number is 082 046 8553. So that's a WhatsApp number. Otherwise, if you want them to call you, I suppose this one, the *134*77. That's if you want them to call you back, right?
No, it's a USSD number, which therefore means that you actually apply through that number.
You can apply through that number.
Even the WhatsApp,
number you can. So right. So these are the application points that we have. I beg your pardon. The WhatsApp one you can apply through WhatsApp, right? 082 046 8553. That's the WhatsApp one. Otherwise, the USSD one is the *134*7737#. You can apply through that as well. And I suppose you can go to the website as well, which is www.srd.sassa.gov.za. Those are the three areas in which you can send in your application, and they'll be waiting for that. So, shumisha number 2 tsamagala tse ro filen tsona ya WhatsApp le yona ya USSD. Gomme o kaya le mo interneteng ya gago gomme wa ya go www.srd.sassa sassa ora ke sassa.gov.za, and that way o ka kgona gore le wena o kentšhe application ya gago gore ka kry-a grant tše leng gore department ya di fa mmogo le SASSA. All right, let's move on and talk about perhaps some of the role that the NPO, or maybe before we do that, maybe let me tackle this one issue. Now, once one has applied through these mechanisms that we've just mentioned now, how will they get feedback on their process of application?
When you apply, you get immediate feedback in your email and also on the WhatsApp that indicates that your application has been received. It's very important to explain that you will not get immediate feedback in terms of whether you are approved or not until such time that we've processed your application. We actually go through a number of databases to make sure that those people that don't qualify, we don't end up with inclusion errors. So we would go to all those areas that I indicated that you should not be getting any particular grant from. We will run your data through our SOCPEN and make sure that you don't currently get a grant. We will run it through a UIF. We run it through Home Affairs to double check that your ID is actually the correct ID. It's very important that once you've put your ID number, you must actually put your initials as they appear and your names as they appear in your ID so that there's no confusion. Otherwise, your application actually gets rejected. So we have to run you through those databases to make sure that you currently don't want to benefit double. Mm-hmm. Having done that, we then actually send that data to SARS to make sure that you don't actually pay as you earn, because that would indicate that you're actually employed. That's why we're having a challenge currently, because we're finding that a whole lot of people that already are getting these benefits are actually applying for this grant, which therefore clogs the system and make it difficult for us to complete those people that are actually in dire need.
0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. That's our telephone number if you want to get a hold of us. As we're discussing issues of SASSA and the grants and so forth, I would like to invite you to use that number. It's 0800 142 446. Mhlambe kukhona okunye ongafuna ukuphawula kuwo, mhlambe kukhona umbuzo ongafuna ukubuza, ungasishayela ucingo nawe ngeke uphe ukhokhe lutho ngempela. 0800 142 446. All right, and then let's talk about the role of the NPOs and the NGOs, the DG, in assisting the department with food parcels distribution. Here's another issue that people wanted to talk about. So here we are as government and trying to address that. So the roles that the NPOs and the NGOs are playing in terms of assisting the department.
Thank you. I think we appreciate the role that the NPOs are playing, even individuals and also big foundations. The only thing we're worried about is the coordination of the food that is being distributed. Mm-hmm. As a result, what we are trying to do now, we are trying to say what is the best mechanism that we can coordinate the distribution of food. We're not saying they should not be involved in the distribution, but to say what is the best way to make sure that there's no duplication in terms of areas and people getting, more than one food parcels. Mm-hmm. So that's the mechanism we're trying to also include in our directions so that it provides clear guidance to those who want to be involved.
All right. Now, what are some of the additional issues that you've encountered, DG, so far with regards to issues Jedi food parcel as you're distributing them?
Well, one is corruption. Mm-hmm. Two, it's also non-nutritious food that is given to people, because when you compare what SASSA is giving and what the community nutrition and development centers are giving, you find that what individuals are giving, it's yes. So we're saying at least there's a bare minimum of type of food that we're saying, if you want to donate, this is what you should be donating so that it gives dignity to our people. But as a department and as a sector, we're moving towards the voucher system that will say, so that people can decide what to buy with the voucher or with the money, hence the 350. But we're still giving food parcels because people are hungry. We cannot, you see, this process is taking much longer because of the, processes that are involved. Mm-hmm. So people will have to bear with us because people are hungry. We have to give them food parcels. But those food parcels need to be provided in a dignified manner. Also, it needs to be nutritious and it needs to be coordinated.
Right. 28 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to it. If you've just joined us, you haven't missed on quite a lot. There's still more to come that you and I would like us to discuss. As I'm looking at the controls on the other side of the booth, I can see lines are flashing. People would like to talk to us, and you're more than welcome to do that. Please speak in any language of your choice. If some of the languages I can't understand, but you're more than welcome to call us in any language of your choice. 0800 142 446 kama Afrikaans praat as jy wil. Bel ons gerus 0800 142 446. That's the normal bell. You're more than welcome to do that. So we'll be happy to take your callers. So during the lockdown, maybe let's talk about the applications, new applications that could possibly come up. So during this phase in which we're in of the lockdown, are you taking any new applications? Say, for instance, newborn babies, children who've never been registered before, and so forth?
We had our offices closed for quite a while until we got to stage 4. Now that we're in stage 4, we have our offices opened, and what we've done is, because we know that over the past 2 months, many of the people that needed our service were not able to come to our offices. So we have days that are dedicated because, as we know, the elderly are the most vulnerable. So we've dedicated Mondays and Tuesdays to the elderly, and Wednesdays and Thursday to the young mothers, and the Friday is dedicated to those people that fall over. It's very important to note that because we were not open for 2 months, the desperation is definitely there. We have had unfortunate situations whereby people have actually been sleeping in our offices because they want to make sure that they become the first ones in the queue the next day. So what we've done is we've developed a system, because this is the drama that we had last week. Even yesterday, we had people in Khayelitsha actually sleeping in our offices and in Eastern Cape. So now we've put a system whereby people will actually be given a date. When you come through, we give you a date, so because we know as to how many people can we take on a particular day. After you've actually, we've had a cut-off, then we would allocate people for the next day. What's been wonderful is that in some areas, what we're finding is that when people get to the offices early, like for example in Soweto, they got early today at 6 o'clock, and people are now already allocating themselves and say, you are number 1, you are number 2, and allocating themselves so that by the time the office opens, that they know who's come first. Yes. That is the South African that we want, either than a situation where we find our people actually putting themselves at risk. We understand that there's a lot of desperation, but we can't be sleeping out in the cold, because as we all know that COVID-19 actually loves the cold. I know that people are hungry, I know that people are desperate, but we need to be to make sure that we protect each other, we protect our families, and we make sure that we safeguard lives in the process of making sure that we get a livelihood.
I mean, it's a given that when people apply, sometimes you make a mistake. And we born the mistake, and that could affect your application. You told out your application has been rejected. Maybe not use the word rejected, or maybe your application has been turned back because of 1 or 2 mistakes that you have done. What are some of the common ones that people have had in their applications, and how can we actually change those? And especially for people that are listening right now that are contemplating going to do an application, perhaps for the first time, what is it that they can look out for?
In terms of the people that are applying for our normal grants, usually they would be assisted in the office, so it's not likely that you can make major mistakes. But the key is to make sure that you've got your documents. If you are a young new mother, it's important to bring the birth certificate of the child and your ID, so because those are important documents. For those people that are the elderly, that may have just turned 60, it's very important that you are able to explain to us as to what your economic situation is. Do you have a home? Is the home owned? Is it your child's home or is it your home? But also to make sure that you've got your ID. Your ID becomes the basic document that you need so that we can be able to see that you actually are 60. So there aren't a lot of documentation that is required, except that we need to then do an assessment as to whether you fall outside the threshold or you're within the threshold. But for the mothers, the key is the ID. What's nice is that the IDs these days would indicate who your mother is and who your father is. So that's all the information that will be asked as you apply. The key on the COVID-19 application, the 350 SRD grant, what's important is that you need to make sure that the numbers that you put in terms of your cell phone number, that it's the correct cell phone number, that if you also, or the contact number that you have, that even when you put your ID numbers, you put the correct ID number. It's very important not to apply too many times because you just clog the system. Because once but you will note, though, that when you apply for the second time, the system will reject you if you've already put your ID and say, we already have received this ID. Yeah. So that will indicate to you that your application is already part of the... In some instances, you find that people apply, they go halfway through the application process, and then they get kicked out by the system because some of us are not so techno-savvy. What happens is that once you come in again, it takes you, as long as you've put your ID, it takes you back to where you actually started. So it becomes easier for you to continue from where you actually left off.
Which is very good. 0800 142 446. I'd like to take those callers now. 0800 142 446. I'd like to hear from you as a listener. We're not going to be able to go more way. Now, 25 minutes before 7 o'clock, you're listening to a live broadcast. It's brought to you courtesy of Government Communication and Information System, the GCIS, together with the Department of Social Development. And SASSA is here as well to talk about some of the issues that you might be having. All right, let's talk to... There's a listener in Durban. I'm being told as I was about to take that listener went off the line. We're going to try to get them back again and line them up so that we can hear what they've got to say. Ngempela, if ukhona okunye ufuna ukukhuluma ngakho, mhlawumbe you're not sure of the processes in which you need to go through with regards to application for a grant at SASSA, and this is what we hear for. The SASSA CEO, Busisiwe Memela Khambula, is here with us in the studio, being supported by the DDG coming from the Department of Social Development, responsible for welfare services, Connie Nxumalo. And they did say they're going to come back, because the last time we had a similar show, there were quite a number of people that wanted to go through, but unfortunately they couldn't. So I'm very, very happy that they've taken this time to come and chat with us and to deal with some of the issues that you might be having as a listener. I want to take a caller quickly. I wonder if we do have a caller on the line. Okay, right. We don't have a caller on the line. Maybe we should go on, and then those callers will be lined up a little bit more later. Let's talk about the arrangement, perhaps, that you might be having with the banks to ease the charges to beneficiaries. Some people are saying, the charges are a bit too high, man. And it looks like there is something that you're doing to ease the burden of charges for the beneficiaries.
Yeah. It's very important to highlight that with COVID-19, with the pandemic actually attacking the world, what the banks have agreed to do now is to make sure that, because what we need to do is to make sure that when we get out of the house, we get to where we need to get to and buy food, things of sustenance, and get back home as soon as possible. So the banks have enabled our beneficiaries to be able to actually go and transact in ATMs. As we know, when you go and transact in a retail shop, which is whether it's Checkers or it's Pick and Pay, actually you don't pay any charges when you transact there. Right. You buy your food there, and then whatever cash you need, they will give you cash back. On the bank side, in many instances, you would pay bank charges, and you would pay interchange fees. In terms of the bank charges, currently the banks have given everybody a reprieve whereby you will not pay any interbank fees. The only thing that you would pay would be your interchange fees, which is a very limited amount. It therefore means that we are encouraging our clients or our beneficiaries to actually go and transact in any place that is close to them, so that they don't travel distances and distances, because kubhlungu kabi ukubona ogogo bahamba baya emadolobheni. Ngiyazi ukuthi kona i-COVID lokuhlala emakhaya, ngiyabona abanye abaningi sebakhathele, kodwa lokhu ukuthi bese siyaphuma emakhaya kungabi khona nezingane ezisikhaphaya ngesikhathi esiningi, abogogo bahambe bodwa, bahambe banhlanhlathe baye emadolobheni. Siyacela bogogo ukuthi nihlale ekhaya, nimane nithenga ukudla nokuthenge eduzane nasekhaya, ngoba ningakwazi ukuthi nithathe imali niyithole ku-ATM, ngoba ama-ATM asewakhona nasemakhaya, akhona nasemadolobheni, kunokuthi nihambe niye ekhashana ukuhamba niyofuna ukudla noma niyofuna imali, ngoba imali yakho mayikhona ingenile ekhadini lakho akekho ozoyithatha. Akukho ukuthi usasa uzabe uyabuya uzothatha imali yakho. Makwe yakho imali angeke usasa aphinda ayithathe njengoba bokwenzeka kudala. Angeke siyithathe. So wazi ukuthi akudingi ukuthi ugijime ngelanga lokuqala, ngoba kusuke kugcwele emadolobheni ngelanga lokuqala. Ungana ngolanga lesine nangelanga lesihlanu uzayithola imali yakho isekhona.
0800 142 446. Let's take the callers now. Calling from Orange Farm. This is Queen Mchali. Mom Queen? Mom Queen Mchali?
Hello?
Hello, is it, who am I speaking to now?
You're speaking to Benny. I'm calling on Queen Mchali's behalf.
Oh, you're calling on her behalf. All right, let's go for it. Thank you so much for calling on her behalf, being supportive there. We really appreciate that type of notion. All right, what is the questions that that she's having?
Okay. We first applied for the food parcel on the 6th of April. And ever since we've been making follow-ups. They say social development must contact us to come and verify. But to date, no communication, no call, no nothing. So we don't know.
How did you... yeah.
And then we also applied for this 350.
Okay.
On the star one that USSD number.
Right.
Still, we haven't gotten any correspondence. So please, if the guest could please clarify us and give us some hope, because we've really lost all hope. We don't know where to turn to. We are unemployed. We've got no airtime to call these other numbers. So we're calling in these toll-free numbers because that's the only thing we can do now.
Okay, thank you so much for utilizing that. Let me ask you a quick question. When you did your application on those platforms, did you get anything back to confirm your application? Maybe something like your application is successful or application pending, whatever the message. What did you get after you've done your application?
The only response was from that USSD number. But it's not a communication as such, because when you just like acknowledge your application and that's it. But then...
Okay, what is the acknowledgement that you've received? What did it say?
I can't recall exactly, but then when you try and, like, maybe after some 3 or 4 days, it just says this is, like, you did apply and that's it. But they don't ask you for bank details or anything, whatever, and that's it.
All right.
Just like that food parcel thing, they take down your details and then they say they're going to send to social development, and then social development will take over. And that one, we first did on the 6th of April. Today, nothing.
Okay. All right, just one quickly, and then I'm going to ask you to listen on the radio. When you applied through the WhatsApp number, ne?
Yes.
Did you at least get the blue ticks?
Number.
Say again?
But we don't have a WhatsApp number anymore. But the one time we bought someone with a WhatsApp phone, that number did not give us that option. Or maybe it had not gone on live, I don't know, but it did not give us. So
okay,
but we don't have a WhatsApp phone.
Okay.
So
okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll try to tackle your question. I would like you to listen on the radio. Okay.
Okay, please.
Right, good stuff. At least I know that the application has gone through, because when he attempted to reapply, it did say your application has been captured. So we'll do that. We'll answer that now shortly. Let me take Sia from Pretoria. Sia.
Hello.
Hi, Sia. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Okay, go for it. What is your question?
I applied for the SASSA 350 grant on Monday last week. Now since today they haven't responded, and I applied via the SMS line. So I wanted to ask, how long must one wait?
Let me ask you. Let me ask you the same questions I've asked Queen. When you applied, what did you get? You say you used the WhatsApp number.
I used the SMS line.
The SMS line, right? Right. What message did you get after that? Did it say your application has gone through, or what did it say?
Well, you get a message that says that thank you, will call you. They ask for your number, and then you confirm that number. Then they say thank you, will call you back on that number that you supplied. So ever since that day, there has not been a response.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask, how long must one wait until they think they have to go to SASSA and ask what's going on? Or must I just continue waiting?
Okay.
Or is there like a time that you have to wait and then you can start panicking after those days have passed? Or is it just normal? It's part of the process.
Okay.
I have a question because of the time since Monday last week.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's good. That's good. At least we know that your application has gone through. So we'll tackle issues of how long and so forth. I would like you to listen on your radio. Let's go to Lichtenburg, actually. It's in the northwest. And this is Rose. Rose, you're calling from Lichtenburg. Good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
Legame Rose.
Yes, sir.
Kupa wele na Setswana. Kupa bue Setswana.
Thank you so much. I was even thinking of Kubua Setswana because of ke lebogela gore le be re itse kgang e mo region. It was great significance. But then bontsi ba batho ba ba reditseng ga ba tlhaloganye because of language. Maybe if ke le gona le o buang ka Setswana or Sesotho so that we can understand each other better. And then ke batla go itse gore for the grant, the relief grant, do one get them votes or cry one?
Okay.
And one other thing, application is then okra batho ba ntse ba ngora ga ba re dia ga ba kgone go di fitlhella mo di nambeng tseo. The easiest way ke se e ba ka e fitlhellang. And then mo di translate how o qualify the food parcels on di tla kae because it carries 350 is on monthly basis until 6 months, and then the food parcels only the for 1 month.
All right, thank you so much, Rose. Lichtenburg. Ke a dumela gore le wena o dira matsapa a gago gore o tlo bue ka Setswana, batho ba ba buang Setswana ba tla ba utlwe sentle. 14 before 7, 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number if you're going to be calling from a landline. All right, calling on behalf of Queen Charlie. The gentleman has mentioned 3 things. The social development application for 350 Rand and the food parcels and the USSD. Did you capture that, CEO? Let's go for it.
Okay. On the food parcel, it's very important to note that there's a number of people that provide food parcels. So what I don't know about Queen's as a situation is whether Queen actually went to SASSA, which may not be possible because the SASSA offices were closed at the time. But we did have a situation where people could, prior to us launching the 350, actually apply for a food parcel. So I don't know whether Queen went to Gauteng because Gauteng as a province also provide food parcels. We also provide SRD, but for our SRD, you actually had to apply for it. And then after having applied, we then would send our region to actually come give a response and then come and drop the food parcel to a group of people. So I don't know where Queen applied for the initial SRD, whether at the Gauteng province or through SASSA. But when it comes to the issue of the 350, once you've applied, like I indicated earlier, we have not yet paid for the people that have applied, because we needed to make sure that we put our systems in place, because at the end of the day, we need to account for each and every penny that a government has given us, because they've given us an allocation. We need to be able to account for it so that when the Auditor General comes and checks our books, they make sure that we've done the right thing, that we didn't have inclusion errors or exclusion errors. So that's the key. We did test the system last week, and we paid a few people, not a lot of people. And now that we've gone through a process of checking the volumes of people that have come through, and separated those that have applied double times, we're going to be starting to pay next week, because now we've taken a group of application forms through to SARS, and SARS will come back to us by tomorrow, and then next week, Monday, we'll start paying. What's interesting about the 350 is that we will not be paying it like we normally pay our grants, where we pay once a month. So as soon as we've processed the application, once we pay you, for example, on the 20th or on the 29th of May, we'll pay you on the 29th of June, and it will go that way again, so that we can avoid volumes and volumes of people getting the money at the same time, and then we have congestion. On the Sia from Pretoria, thank you very much, Sia, for applying. Clearly, it means you did go through. So just be a little patient. If your application has gone through, it therefore means that either you're likely to be part of what we will do is we'll come back to you and say, can you load your bank details? Because what we don't want is for people to load their bank details in an unsecured environment like WhatsApp. Yeah. So when your application has been approved, we then send you an SMS and we say, can you, a link, and then we say, can you please load your bank details on that link, because that then takes you to a safe environment where you can then put your bank details without you having phishing scams in your space in future. So that's the process. So what I would plead with people who get SMSs to say, please take this link and load your bank details, is for you to do it as soon as possible so that we can be able to pay. Because once you get that link, it therefore means that we've gone through your process, we're ready to actually pay you as soon as you've done that, and then after that we'll pay you for the next 6 months. So that's the process, and we haven't paid yet because we needed to make sure that we implement all these processes. We should start paying next week Tuesday. So even if, for example, if you've applied in May and we don't load you and start paying you in May, and we're able to process your application and pay you only in June, as long as you've applied in May, we will pay you for May and for June. But if you apply only in June, it therefore means we'll only start paying you from June. So the sooner people actually make sure that they do send the application as soon as possible, the better it is going to be. And make sure that when you've been asked for your bank details, you put your bank details as soon as possible. Or even your cell phone. We've just engaged with the banks and we're looking at the security, because it's going to be very important that once we pay the money, we pay it to the right person. Because you'll find instances where somebody can come and steal your ID. Therefore, we need to make sure that the cell phone that we pay to, it has to be a cell phone that is recard. Because if it's not recard, we cannot trust whether it is yours or not. So that's going to be important. Your bank account details or your cell phone, which is a recard cell phone, to make sure that we're paying the right person. I hope that helps.
Right. Then Rose wants to find out, can she apply for both grants? And if she does, can she get both grants?
No, you can't get both. And again, it's what we refer to as double dipping. If you've applied for a food parcel in the previous dispensation when we had food parcels, it therefore that means that you will get a food parcel for 3 months. But if you get the 350 grant, you will get the 350 grant for the next 6 months. But you can't double dip. You can't have both, because we need to make sure that we spread the love and we make sure that everybody benefits.
And then how many times, say, if she's applying for a food parcel, how many times can she get it?
She can get it for 3 months.
Okay, for 3 months. Why you talking Merose? So, Ogas Hono gradually too. Otokra A1 FL Berose, and then Otoekara for 3 months. That's the answer to that one there.
What we are now doing is we're putting the last batch, the last part of the cycle. It would therefore mean that once we've already vetted you through the other databases, we take your information, we send it to SARS. And what's been interesting is that we actually sent through last week 79,000 applications to SARS. And of those 79,000, believe it or not, 39,000 people are people that were paid in April, which therefore means that it's people that are working. Mm-hmm. That's why it becomes important for us to go through this pain initially, because once we've put the people in the system, after that, yes, we will check on a monthly basis to see if you haven't found another job, but it doesn't become as painful as it currently is now as we're setting up the systems. We know that it's been a long wait, but next week we're going to start paying the first batch of people, and we'll be doing it on a continuous basis rather than the way we normally pay, whereby we pay once a month. So I'm pleading for patience. I know that it's been a long wait, but next week, for example, of the people that applied on the first batch, those are the people that we're going to be paying next week, because of this of the 75,000, we found that 11,000 of them actually qualify. So those are the ones that we're going to be paying next week. The ones that have come through the next system are the ones that we've sent, for example, to SARS, another batch of 200,000 people, so that they can vet them and make sure that those people are not currently employed. Because if you have pay as you earn, it therefore means that you are employed and you got a salary in April and you don't qualify. So we'll be paying on every other day. Will actually be a processing payment. So I would plead with you, Ravaj, and also to what you call to Sia, who also has applied, to make sure that as soon as you receive an SMS that says go to a link and upload your bank account. And it's interesting that many people have since applied for bank accounts with a number of banks. You have banks that charge zero fees for low-end applications, and you have new banks like Time Bank. You've got the Post Bank. So people. It's very important that for those that have applied and the application has gone through, that in the meantime you actually go and make sure that you've got a bank account, because it becomes quicker for us when we pay the money into a bank account and we can prove as to who did we pay money to. If we have to pay money to a cell phone account, it therefore means that we need to do double checks. We need to check if the SIM card that is registered under your name. But with a bank account, we go to National Treasury, and then National Treasury helps us check through all the banks to make sure that the bank account that you've indicated is actually the correct bank account. So there's all these checks and balances that we need to put in place, because we're still setting it up. Because as you know, we only got this responsibility about 2.5 weeks ago, and we needed to make sure that all these systems are in place before we can actually start paying. We paid a few people last week, which was a test, which indicates that it actually does happen. It was quite interesting. One of the people actually put it on Facebook to indicate that he had to pay for his church fees, which were deducted from his account. But the system is working. But please make sure that you've got your bank account, so that by the time we come back and ask you to load your bank account, that you've got it at hand.
All right. Noni, I'm going to take 2 callers. I'll tell you why. We've got about 9 minutes to go. And I still want to touch on the issue of GBV, which I think is very, very important. Let me take these two. Let me take Daniel from Limpopo. And then I'm going to take you, John, from Richards Bay. So hang 10. Daniel? Daniel Limpopo?
Yes.
Daniel, hopalo rongo bolelele nna.
Ke a bolela.
Bjale pushal na re.
De ke gopela go botsisa gore ke na le ngwana wa disability.
Okay.
So kuri na tsa ka tsela di doctor so ba re tse mo se motho re be saya ka se motho mo denelting ka e go sa seng ka ba khopela form ba mfa yona ka e busetsa di doctor ba ngwala ka e tlisa gape mo sa seng so ba re tshane a bone ke doctor ya SASSA ya mona doctor ya SASSA okay a dimelana le ka mo go di doctor tsa ko di ngwadileng a re tshwane ba mo cancele for 40 a ba gomme process ya bona e tsamaya gore ba tshwanne mo cancele go di one gomme ga sa go di ga sa gola a tla ngwadise ya disability grant ke ge go thoma di lockdown so no SASSA di office di butse ga ke ya ke re ko ngwadisa gore ga ba mphele tshwantsha gore ke ba hlalosetse ba bona o ka re ke sa tlo bona doctor ba re di doctor teng ke re bola le rena ba tshetse di gate se ba tsaka nna ga ke tlo bona ngwana no se tla gore a capture fela gore ba no mo ngwadisa fela ka re doctor se moni ba sa fakire bona ba cancela for futhi ngwana le 2 months a sa go le grant.
Okay, ngo tsara jale re go gore ya hlahlabya. Maybe see you've got that right. Would you like to ask a question maybe?
Yeah. No. I think I understand her question. I think go sa gore mtlhomong ha ba utlwisise gore potso ya hao ke goreng ka gore wena ha wa tlo bona doctor ne so moni doctor go tsho gore ne go tshwantse gore nkebe ba yanong go tshwantse nkebe ne ba o capture rishile ka gore if ne so qetile process go tshwanetse gore nkebe ngwana if na le ecosysteming go tshwantse gore ngwana a khone gore a fumane disability grant ya hae gona jwale en ka ikopa gore ke kopa gore fela ha ke a tshwara dinomoro tsa officing ya mono no ile ko officing e feng
SASSA ya mo rena ya mo Denelton
ke kopa gore o ye ko phone book o batle number ya ko Denelton o ska tsamaya o tsamaya le ngwana go bata ke kopa gore o ba founele o ba tlhalosetse hantle le ha o sa khone o founela bona o ka founela rona ko head office o founele 0800 60 11 10 o founele number eo o tla fumana ba call center ya rona o butsise bona batla o explainela gore re tse jwang ke nkare ke bitsitse wrong number ki 0800 60 10 11 o utlwile mme 0800 60 10 11 o founele number eo ke call center ya rona ya ko head office o ba tlhalosetse batla khona gore ba o tlhalosetse gore go tshwantse o etse jwang ka gore if ngwana no so mo apply go tshwantse gore a bua
ka khona go etsa appointment le ba ko Denelton though. So in other words has to create the phone number za ko Denelton. Can she call them and explain or one Naga process I'm done. Okay. Second you're going to say is this can I make an appointment with you so that can she do that?
Actually what we've done is we've put a new system whereby we ask people to make appointments because the volumes of people that require our service are huge. That's why we're now making appointments. So when she calls, they can make an appointment for her so that she knows when to actually go.
No, wena ska tshwenya wena ntse o tshwantseng o e dire go SASSA go ro tse phone ya ba founela go mo dira appointment le bona ba botse gore bona ke tla wa botse gore boletse le karabo a re otle
o ke ba botse gore ke boletse le karabo
ai ya wa GCIS wa botse gore bo phone le mo programming ya GCIS o boletse le batho ba SASSA ba na ba tlile ba go khopetse gore o dira appointment le bona because wena o khone o dira process ya mathomo ga wa tlela go dira process ya mathomo o tlile gore ngwana ba mo capture mo systemeng gomme ba go fe tšatši le nako ye o swanetseng gore ba fitlhele ka go yona ke leboga maorena nke re Richards Bay re bolelele John Richards Bay ka re John Richards Bay kunjani mfethu ngiyaphila mani umbuzo wakho uthini siyavala ke ngoku
Okay, umbuzo wami sethi ukuthi wona $350, is it a once-off payment or umuntu uzoriceive 350 each and every month? That's all.
Oh, ngiyabonga mfethu. Uyabona ke wena you're straight to the point.
Okay, thank you very much.
There we go. Is it a once-off?
U-350 lows amthola inyanga eziyisithupha.
Okay.
Ehe. Mawuqala asithi uapplyile uqala ukuyithola ngoJune uzayithola inyanga eziwusithupha kusho ukuthi uzothola let's say mangabe uapply manje ngoMay uzothola mangabe iprocess yakho sesiqede ngoJune uzothola imali yakho yangoMay nangoJune kuthi ngoOctober bese kuyaphela.
Okay, ngiyabonga ma.
Ngiyabonga mfowethu. uJohn ubuye Richards Bay uyisha yeah but
yaqonda.
Hey. Wabona qoya hana mulele. Yeah. Right, let's go to I want us to, just before we close, and DDG, this is where you can come in. Here's one important issue that I would like us to talk about. We wouldn't have done justice to this show if we haven't spoken about this one. There's a concern, the levels of GBV. They're not looking good, especially during this lockdown. Is the department putting a plan, perhaps, against this, or to combat this, or just to make sure that we don't have alarming numbers, as has been said?
Thanks, Karabo. I think the issue of GBV is something that must be condemned at all forms. As a department, we've got different interventions. For instance, we do have a command center. We call it GBV Command Center. The number is 08600 428 428, where if you experience any violation of your rights in a particular environment, be it's a domestic or sexual or whatever form of violence or violent crime, you call this number. We've got qualified social workers who can provide online counseling, but also they link you with shelters or other services that are around you, because when you call, we are able to geolocate you.
Right.
So how refonela khono bona ro fona o le ko kae, and then social worker khono bua le wena ebe o tlhalosetsa gore o ka kry thuso jwang ko kae. For instance, itla re ko wena wa bona mo leng ko teng ko Soshanguve khona le police station 200 meters away from you, khona le shelter ya gore o ka robala ko teng 200 or 300 meters or 2 kilometers jwalo gape re na le shelters all over the country gore motho ha fila gore ha sa le safe kwa dulang a ka tsamaya through the police station and then ba lo mfelegetsa a lo robala ko sheltering eo. And ra itse gore during lockdown ne gona le bothata ba gore batho ba sa gone go tswa ka mo dintlong. O kry gore o dutse le partner or an abusive person a gone gore o tla report. So re developile something re bitsa referral pathways imo cell phone mara ra itse gore batho ba bantšha bana smartphone. So gona ya nong ka di regulations a level 4 re recommendile gore motho o leng violated a gone go tswa ka montlong a police station, so that maponisa ska mothiba ka gore before they were complaining about no a re gone utswa re police station maponisa a re tshwara. So gona nong ba free to move, either ba go social workers office or ba go police station ba ilo report any violation ba feelang gore ba batla thuso ko yona.
Now the process ya go tswa, let's talk about this referral pathways that we're on. How does it work?
Ke information pack re go fa information gore how o violate wa ka mogare na ko ngona le bana, so o tshwantse o tsebe gore how are you going to deal le bana na ko ngwe go na ba banyane o tshwantse o tswe ka bona or ba bangwe o ba shie. So because you must prioritize your safety, ha le gore ngwana wa gona mo sia ko mogolonyana wa mo sia o balege mara o sa gone o tsia o sa goneng gore a ka sala o tswa le ena, and then o run either to the next police station or gone reporter, so that ba go tsamaise ba go ise ko sheltering e o tlo dulang le ngwana gago or le bana ba gago ko teng. So we know gore ke sa le mathatanyana ka gore na ko ngwe a o gone le o berekisa cell phone ka gore batho ba bantši bo mme a ba bereke ba dependa go bontate ba leng ka montlong. Na ko ngwe le phone ba mo fitlhela yona gore ha setse go thoma ntwa le abusive relationship a gone le go communicate the outside world. Mara ra kopa gore ha o gona ganyana go kry chance e berekise.
Would I be correct, and I hope I'm not out of line by saying this, you don't need a permit to get out of the house to go seek help if you're being abused?
You don't need a permit.
Ke beile pila, ne?
O ipeile pila karabo itse
yeah.
wena o
Ke
rutegile.
ruteile, ne?
Yeah, o rutegile.
Kgale
Ka
ke ba
bereka
botsa
le
ba-
nna we.
then ba ka re ke a ba
Ba
botsa, then
bangwe ba
ba-
ka ra ba rutega re ka bereka mmogo sharp.
Yeah.
Ya
No,
ra
you
change
don't,
lefatshe.
because problem. I promise you. I promise you, Mam Connie, ne, there has been people who were under the impression, yeah, gore, under no whether you are being abused or not, you don't leave your house without a permit. And I'll be honest with you. Initially, I thought it might make sense because you'll get arrested. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, but you're a victim of GBV. So what does it say? Does it say I must stay here and get killed here? And I'm happy that you're clarifying it. If you are falling victim at a particular moment of GBV, in fact, you don't even have to wait for it to happen. If you feel I need help now,
You just get out.
even if it happened yesterday, ne? But
Just
if
get out.
now at this moment you're thinking,
As we
"O ka re
speak
ho na
now.
le soba le nga tswang ka lona, I want to go
No,
seek help." Go and seek for that help. All right. Is there a number that people can call? Let's say those who are in possession of a phone of some sort, and perhaps they want to make an initial call for intervention, maybe call the law enforcement officers to come through Gontlong, to come and maybe, Bato Tusa. Is there a number that people can immediately call?
Yeah, re na le number ke 08600 428 428. It's a toll-free number. I go
Alright.
charge.
Okay.
Re na le also please call me facility. Just that aksa go re ira jwang, but there's a please call me, and there's also 10111 e ya maponisa. If a o kgone go e ka gore it's a long number, we still have to make it short. Ka gore nako nngwe where you are, you just have an opportunity to dial 3 numbers. So rather I would dial it 10111 ba kgona gore transferela the calls.
Okay.
Go this number. We have a working relationship le maponisa. Gore ba re fe le rona ha motho a founile mo re mo geolocate re bona gore o ka rona o mothateng, it needs police intervention. Immediately re contact maponisa re tsamayang go address eso. There's a crime that is happening. Ba kgona gore ba kitima ba ile thusa.
I'm glad about that geolocation thing. I think that's the best invention
It
after
is
cheese.
it's the best technology. It won many awards internationally.
Wow.
This call center.
Really, hey?
Yes, it did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's where we're going to have to leave it for today. Can we do this some other time? Can we schedule some time in the future? You guys will advise in terms of when and what time we can do that. But I think that we can finish them in one program. We'll need multiple programs to actually cover the content. But I'm happy that we've covered those that were important, those that people wanted to speak about. And I'm happy that we could touch on issues such GBV. We did not get into it in detail, but I think the most important thing is the fact that you can go out and seek help. But let's start there. Call 10111 to start with and seek intervention
And
from
08600 428
What?
428.
08600 428 428 10111. So 08600 428 428 and 10111. Those are the two numbers so that you can get help. Thank you so much that you've taken some time to be part of this show. Thank you so much, Mebusi. Please come back again.
We will.